For 22 years, one man woke up every morning and hit a mountain with a hammer. People called him insane, but when he finished, an entire village had a road. The story of Dashrath Manjhi. What does it take to move a mountain? Not machines, not power, not influence, just one man with pain too deep to ignore. In a small village in India, hidden behind a massive wall of stone, lived a man the world would never have noticed. His name was Dashrath Manjhi, a laborer, a nobody by society's standards. Every day was survival. No proper roads, no nearby hospitals, no shortcuts to a better life, just distance and a mountain standing between his people and everything they needed. But even in hardship, love finds a way to grow. Her name was Falguni Devi. She wasn't just his wife, she was his reason. In a world that had given him almost nothing, she gave him everything. Her presence made the struggle lighter. Her smile made the hunger bearable. For a man with so little, she was his entire world. And then one day, the mountain took her. She slipped on the same unforgiving rocks that had always been there. Injured, bleeding, helpless, Manjhi carried her, step after step, mile after mile, desperately racing against time. But time was never on his side. There was no road, no quick help, only distance. And by the time they finally reached care, it was too late. Some pain breaks you, but some pain rebuilds you into something else. Standing before that mountain, the same mountain that had just taken everything from him, Manjhi made a decision, not out of logic, not out of reason, but out of grief. I will break this mountain, not someday, not with help, with his own hands. A hammer, a chisel, that was all he had. The first strike echoed, not just against the rock, but against doubt. People laughed. They called him mad. They mocked him. How can one man break a mountain? And maybe, on some nights, he asked himself the same question. Because the hardest battles are not always outside. They are within. Days when the mountain didn't change, and doubt grew louder. Days when his body screamed, "Stop!" Days when his mind whispered, "This is pointless." No applause, no encouragement, just silence, and the sound of his own thoughts. He became alone, not just physically, but socially. He was no longer seen as determined, but as delusional. And isolation has a way of breaking even the strongest minds. But something inside him refused to quit. So he showed up, every day, under the burning sun, through exhaustion, through hunger, one strike at a time. Not because it was working, but because he refused to stop. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. Years into decades. 22 years. Imagine that. Working on something for 22 years, with no guarantee it would ever succeed. There must have been moments when he sat beside that mountain, too tired to lift the hammer. Moments when grief returned, not as fire, but as weight. Moments when quitting felt easier than continuing. And yet, he got up, slowly, and then slowly, almost invisibly, the mountain began to change. A crack, path, possibility. What once seemed impossible became undeniable. After 22 years, Dashrath Manjhi did the impossible. He carved a road through the mountain, a path 110 meters long. What once required a 50-kilometer journey was reduced to just 15 kilometers. He didn't just change geography, he changed destiny. The same people who once laughed now stood in awe. The man they once called mad became a legend, but this was never about recognition. It was about love. It was about pain, refusing to be wasted. So let me ask you this. What mountain stands in your way? And what do you do when life breaks you? Why run from that pain when maybe, just maybe, that pain is not there to stop you, but to build you? You don't need everything. You just need to start. And then keep going, even when it's slow, even when it's lonely, even when no one believes in you. Because one day, what feels impossible now will become your story when the weight is too heavy. And no road exists. You build one, strike by strike, step by step, day by day, because pain is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your transformation. One man, one hammer, one mountain, and a will that refused to break. Your mountain, though, may be different. Maybe failure, loss, rejection, or a dream that feels too far gone. Remember Dashrath Manjhi. He didn't just break the mountain, he broke every limit placed on him, and you too can. If this story did more than pass a chill down your spine, then welcome to the journey, the power of pain, where broken stories become unbreakable strength. Thank you for watching.